Welcome to the special edition of Hannity. I'm Kellyanne Conway, in for Sean. And tonight, panic and desperation at 1600 Pennsylvania Avenue as a frail and cognitively impaired president selfishly clings to power. Moments ago, at a closed-door fundraiser in Virginia, Joe Biden spoke for just 6 minutes, reportedly telling donors that his poor debate performance was because he, quote, decided to travel around the world a couple of times shortly before the debate. Biden said he almost fell asleep on stage, the most true thing he has said recently. In reality, prior to the debate, Biden spent 7 full days holed up at Delaware and Camp David to rehearse and rest. Meanwhile, earlier today, in what was another sad attempt to demonstrate vigor, Joe Biden shuffled out to a location near the White House at about 1 p.m. for a short, prepared speech about the weather.
So folks know these resources are available to them and anyone who needs them. I was telling the group who briefed me earlier, my brother has an expression, you got to know how to know. We think everybody understands government. It's complicated. We've invested billions to enhance our power grid, expand energy shortages.
Why is Joe Biden using a teleprompter for a short and formal speech? Is he not able to speak on his own? And why do the people behind him not exactly look thrilled about 4 more years? Per usual, Biden took no questions. At one point, he was focused in the wrong direction, with that same 1,000-yard stare we all saw at the debate last week. Later, Biden bizarrely stroked a man's arm skin, apparently enamored with his tattoo. And then finally, on his way out, Biden got confused again and needed to be directed to the exit. Folks, that's just today. That's all in a day's work. But according to his press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, Biden's horrendous performance at last week's debate was just an isolated incident due to a simple cold. Watch this.
So let me just step back for a minute and I guess deal with the questions that have come in about the debate. And honestly, this is something that the president has addressed himself multiple times since this past Thursday. And first of all, I want to say we understand the concerns. We get it. The president did not have a great night, as you all know, and many of you reached out during the debate. The president had a cold. He had a hoarse voice. You all heard it.
If this is an episode or is this a condition, which one is it?
Well, what I can tell you is that he had a cold and a bad night. I would not see this as an episode. I would see this as what it was and what we believe it to be, which is it was a bad night.
I mean, the lies between KJP and Jill Biden, there really isn't a doctor in the house there. KJP, under fire today, refused to say from the White House press briefing room whether Biden was on any kind of medication during the debate. And she also refused to say if Biden would ever take a cognitive exam. This comes as Democratic donors are reportedly freaked out by the president's poor performance at private fundraisers. Now, even James Carville is demanding that his party nominate someone else. Meanwhile, notable left-leaning statistician Nate Silver is calling Democrats, quote, bleeping cowards who should be shunned from public for not speaking out. Right on cue, Congressman Lloyd Doggett of the Austin, Texas area became the first elected Democrat to publicly ask Joe to drop out. And another Democrat, Congressman Jared Golden, in a swing district, penned this op-ed, quote, Donald Trump is going to win the election, and democracy will be just fine. At the same time, other top Democrats continued to stand by the president, despite a mountain of pressure. Nancy Pelosi laughably called Biden masterful. But now, even Biden's pals in the mainstream media are painting a different picture. Here's Carl Bernstein on CNN. What?
According to the people you've been talking to, what are you hearing?
Well, these are people, several of them, who are very close to President Biden, who love him, have supported him, have been among them are some people who have raised a lot of money for him. And they are adamant that what we saw the other night, the Joe Biden we saw, is not a one-off, that there have been 15, 20 occasions in the last year and a half when the president has appeared somewhat as he did in that horror show that we witnessed.
So Biden will spend days preparing for big speeches and debates, and yet he still struggles. On the other hand, according to a report in the Washington Post back in 2021, his vice president rarely prepares for anything and constantly refuses to put in the, quote, prep work, according to her staffers. This administration, Biden-Harris, has been doomed from the start.
Hey, Sean Hannity here. Hey, click here to subscribe to Fox News YouTube page and catch our hottest interviews and most compelling analysis. You will not get it anywhere else.